Ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mary Ferguson, and I'm a proud representative here at Collette. I'm here today to talk to you about our incredible tropical Costa Rica tour. Before we dive into all of the highlights of this tour, I'd like to share with you a brief video that's going to be a nice introduction to who we are at Collette, and hopefully give you an idea of what to expect on a Collette tour.
Since 1918, Collette has provided tours that take people around the country and around the world. From our humble beginnings, leading guided bus tours down the East Coast, to luxurious, all-inclusive explorations of some of the world's most exotic locations, we craft unparalleled travel adventures. We are there to help our guests every step of the way on their travel journey, from finding the perfect destination, to securing flights and hotel stays, to creating enriching cultural experiences. All our guests have to worry about is enjoying their trip. Collette is celebrating its 100th year as a family-owned company. We've continued to build our expertise, our connections, and our selection of tours so that we can make all of our guests' travel dreams a reality. It's time to see the world with Collette.
So I hope this video gives you a good idea of what it's like to go guided with Collette. Now let's get back to our tour highlights in tropical Costa Rica. This tour includes 9 days and 14 meals, and is an amazing opportunity to surround yourself with the natural beauty of Costa Rica on a rendezvous with exotic fauna, lush rainforests, and endless coastlines. This is an adventure you're sure to remember. On this tour, you'll have the opportunity to learn about Costa Rica's unique vegetation on a guided nature walk through the cloud forest, spot indigenous wildlife on a Cano Negro riverboat cruise. You'll also get to enjoy the tropical landscapes and breathtaking views of Arenal volcano. You'll visit the town of Zarcero, home to an incredible whimsical topiary garden. So here we have your tour at a glance. On day 1, you'll be starting out in the colorful capital city of San Jose. This city will serve as the start and end to your tour. On days 2 and 3, you'll travel to the Guanacaste region, known for its fine sandy beaches and gorgeous mountainous landscape. On days 4 and 5, you'll be visiting Monteverde, where you'll see the Monteverde cloud forest, known for its lush abundance of natural wildlife. On days 6 and 7, you'll travel to Arenal, where you'll enjoy breathtaking views of the volcano on your incredible Lake Arenal cruise. So on day 1 here in Costa Rica, you'll experience the colorful capital of San Jose. This blend of engaging city life and picturesque nature will have you falling in love with Costa Rica's capital. On day 2, you'll travel through the lush countryside of the Central Valley to the fertile region world-renowned for its coffee. Since the late 1700s, coffee has been a part of Costa Rican agriculture, and today, Costa Rican coffee is regarded as some of the best coffee in the world. You'll take a stop at a nearby coffee plantation to learn the history and cultivation of the product, a huge driver of the Costa Rican economy. You'll get to see the process of making coffee from the seedbed to the roasting room. As you tour the plantation, you'll even get to sample a cup of their exquisite coffee yourself. Next, you'll immerse yourself in the breathtaking Guanacaste region, known for its fine sandy beaches and incredible landscapes. Home to mountains, volcanoes, and seemingly endless shorelines, uncover a tropical paradise. The Guanacaste tree is the national tree of Costa Rica, and is also known as the elephant ear tree. Here in Guanacaste, you can relax and enjoy the beach and resort amenities. On day 3, you'll enjoy a day at leisure and have some fun in the sun, explore the nearby towns and beaches, or perhaps choose an optional tour down the Ora River or a breathtaking snorkeling experience. If you choose option number 1, you'll be paddling in a mangrove kayak 6 miles down the Ora River. You'll take an intimate look at the local wildlife, so keep an eye out for playful monkeys and explorative iguanas scurrying up the trees. Follow your guide as you coast along the water, making your way along the winding river and taking in the nature around you. Or you can choose option number 2, our dolphin watching and snorkeling experience. You'll really get a different perspective of the Costa Rican wildlife when you venture into the natural habitat of a dolphin family. Try your hand at fishing as you cast your line into the blue waters of the Pacific. You'll also get a chance to swim and snorkel in the warm waves along the coast, getting a closer look at the sea life in this tropical paradise. Or you can simply relax by the pool and take advantage of your resort's lovely amenities. Watch the waves crash along the shoreline as you take in the outstanding ocean view, and soak in the infinity pool overlooking the Costa Rican skyline, listening to the sounds of nature as you relax. On day 4, you won't believe your eyes as you travel into the secluded Monteverde cloud forest, where trees grow to heights of over 100 feet. This area is known for its dense humidity and low-hanging clouds around the trees, hence the name cloud forest. Declared to be one of the 7 natural wonders of Costa Rica, surround yourself with flourishing nature in this truly breathtaking landscape. Set off on a nature walk through the spectacular ecosystem and encounter many species of flora and fauna up close. Monteverde Cloud Forest Reserve consists of over 26,000 acres with 6 ecological zones, 90% of which are virgin rainforest. Monteverde is also the home of one of the world's largest population of the endangered quetzal, celebrated for its gorgeous jewel-toned plumage. Keep your eyes peeled and you might be lucky enough to spot this elusive bird. On day 5, you'll have the choice between our butterfly and hanging bridges walking tour or the zip line canopy tour. If you go for choice number 1, you'll get to visit one of the world's largest butterfly gardens with more than 30 species of tropical butterflies. Costa Rica has 1,000 species of butterflies, so have your camera ready as you visit this enchanting butterfly garden to capture that perfect specimen. A nearby gallery contains more than 100 beautiful hummingbirds. They're known as hummingbirds because of the humming sound created by their beating wings, which flap at high frequencies audible to humans. They hover in midair at rapid wing flapping rates, typically around 50 times per second. Then you'll join an expert for a leisurely paced hanging bridges walking tour to gain a different perspective of the cloud forest's unique ecosystem, its mammals, birds, plants, and flora. This picture taken from the road is captioned, "There was so much in Costa Rica to take your breath away," including the 8 hanging bridges at Salvatore Park in Monteverde. Or you can pick choice number 2, our zipline canopy tour, where you can take an exhilarating ride on one of the longest canopy zipline tours in Costa Rica. Soar along the trees to take in the rainforest from a different perspective, and feel the adrenaline as you coast through the air in this once-of-a-lifetime opportunity. Take in the diverse plants and animals from up above as you glide along the zip line. During the winter months, many birds call Costa Rica home due to the warm weather and welcoming environment. If you're visiting during the winter season, you might be lucky enough to spot a rare bird in its migratory pattern. On day 6, you'll discover the importance of conservation in Costa Rica during a visit to a local tree nursery and learn about Monteverde's reforestation efforts of indigenous trees. Traverse through the beautiful mountainous landscapes of Monteverde to Arenal, where breathtaking views of the volcano await you. Enjoy a delightful cruise on Lake Arenal, the largest lake in Costa Rica. This lake covers an area of 33 square miles and is home to the Arenal Dam. A hydroelectricity project built the Arenal Dam in 1979, and now the lake produces 17% of the country's electricity. During your cruise, you'll be able to observe the incredible Arenal volcano, towering in the distance at over 5,400 feet. The earliest known eruptions of Arenal took place about 7,000 years ago. Arenal volcano had been generating lava for the past 30 years, up until 2010. Enjoy a 2-night stay at a lodge overlooking the majestic Arenal volcano. Here, you'll be immersed in nature and will have the opportunity to relax and take in the plethora of beauty around you. On day 7, you'll embark on a Cano Negro guided riverboat trip in a panga, which you'll see here is a covered canoe, stopping along the way to observe and photograph the wildlife that surrounds you. Of all of Costa Rica's nature preserves, the remote 20,000 acres of Cano Negro are home to the largest viewable selection of indigenous wildlife. This may include crocodiles, river otters, sloths, river turtles, exotic birds, and rare butterflies, all known to live in the area. You'll get up close to some local species, including the fascinating three-toed sloth. The Cano Negro Wildlife Refuge is also home to the prehistoric Gaspar fish and over 78 mammal species, including the rare white-tailed deer. Along the shores of the river and in the trees that bend over its waters, you'll be able to spot wandering animals, so keep your eyes peeled and those binoculars at the ready. This tour manager and Instagram user, Ricardo Howell, shares hanging out with new friends. And you can see here in the background a three-toed sloth, really displaying how close you can get to these animals. This region is home to some incredible specimens, including howler monkeys, spider monkeys, white-faced capuchin monkeys, caimans, turtles, and even Jesus Christ lizards. There's also the chance of spotting the fin of a freshwater shark as it slices above the water's surface. The Arenal volcano area is known as the land of spas and hot springs. After a full day of exploring this region, you'll have an opportunity to attain a state of complete relaxation with an optional visit to one of the finest spas in the region. On day 8, you'll make your way back to San Jose and discover the charming town of Zarcero and visit its well-known whimsical topiary garden. This garden contains nearly 120 tree sculptures, including an octopus, elephant, giraffe, chickens, a dinosaur, human figures, vehicles, and even the national coat of arms. All of these sculptures were created by the local artist Evangelista Blanco. Take in the treasures of San Jose on a panoramic tour. See the bustling Plaza de Cultura and the National Theater, a magnificent building of post-Baroque splendor. Now you'll be coming to the end of your journey, and although you'll say goodbye to this tropical paradise, you'll treasure the memories of your Costa Rican adventure forever. As a quick recap, included experiences on this tropical Costa Rica tour are San Jose, discovering the vibrant city, exploring the highlights on a panoramic tour, and wandering through the whimsical topiary garden. Guanacaste, visiting the coffee plantation and touring the grounds, relaxing on the beach or choosing an optional tour. Monteverde, exploring the cloud forest and enjoying a choice of ziplining or walking along the hanging bridges, and gaining insight on bird migration and tree conservation. And finally, Arenal, where you'll enjoy a cruise on Lake Arenal, admire views of the towering Arenal volcano, and search for wildlife on the Cano Negro, and select an optional tour to relax in the area's hot springs. Here at the end of your tour, you'll have a choice to let the adventure continue by choosing an optional 3-night post-tour jungle adventure extension. This extension includes 4 days and 8 meals. You can enjoy an exciting soft adventure jungle extension to Tortuguero, the Amazon of Costa Rica. Enjoy a memorable 2-night stay at your eco lodge, surrounded by the beauty of a tropical rainforest and amazing wildlife. Here at Tortuguero National Park, they study rainforest, freshwater, and marine biology, and protect over 350 species of birds and mammals, including green macaws, 57 species of amphibians, 111 species of reptiles, and 60 mammal species, including 13 of Costa Rica's 16 endangered species. These include jaguars, tapirs, ocelots, cougars, river otters, and manatees. Learn more about your surroundings with a visit to the world's first green turtle research station, and learn how to protect the turtle's natural nesting habitat and eggs. Experience a spectacular boat cruise through the various canals, and make sure to keep an eye out for wildlife, including howler monkeys, sloths, toucans, aquatic birds, bats, and caimans, as well as exotic flora and, of course, the elephant ear tree, the national tree of Costa Rica. So finally, you'll return to San Jose for one last night before you return home. Soak in the delights of this city and recap with your fellow travelers the incredible once-in-a-lifetime journey you shared together. For more information, including departure dates and rates, please contact your local travel professional. So at this time, I'd like to thank you for joining me, and on behalf of everyone here at Collette, I hope that you'll join us to experience this incredible journey to tropical Costa Rica. Have an amazing day, take care, and happy travels.
Okay, thanks. I'm going to try to launch. this now. Okay, can everyone see my screen now? What I'm showing now is the website that you can go to. It's the link that you hit from the Chamber's website. Takes you to this website where you have more information on the tour here. I wanted to point out a few of the features on the site, including basically the highlights here, the itinerary at a glance, and then the pricing. You'll notice that there is pricing for double occupancy. So 2 people to a room, that would be $2,899 per person. And that is with the $100 savings for bookings that are made prior to the September cutoff. And then there's an opportunity for single travelers to go for the $33.99, or for 3 people to a room, and that cost is $2,869 per person. So when you click on the button here, as far as the itinerary, it actually takes you to basically what you're doing every day and lets you know what meals are included on those days. You can print this off so that you have something to look at in paper. The other thing to let you know on the website is that you can actually find out a lot about the individual locations. As you scroll down the page, you find out a little bit more about Arenal and the additional tours, such as the spa treatment. The 2 tours that were optional out of Guanacaste, which is the kayaking and the snorkeling. And then finally, the Monteverde cloud forest offerings of the hanging bridges or the canopy tour. And then at the very bottom, there's more information on their cancellation and travel protection, which is probably on everyone's mind given what we're experiencing right now. Collette does have a wonderful travel protection policy at $329 per person. And you can find out more about that when you hit this click here button under the worry-free cancellation. And then finally, a lot of answers to a lot of questions will be at the very bottom here on travel tips. There's information on the accommodations that you will find in Costa Rica, accessibility questions, suggestions on your day of arrival, packing, information about the local currency, information about the electrical system that is in use in Costa Rica, some information about gratuities, local cuisine, luggage, meals, how they deal with the tour. Everyone gets a name badge that they'd like you to wear. There's information on shopping, the time zone of Costa Rica. Just about any question that you might have is probably going to be answered down here at the bottom under travel tips. And then finally, I wanted to let you know that on this website, in addition at the top to requesting more info, which results in my getting an email with the person's information so I can reach out to them and speak with them on the phone, you can also hit the sign up now button. And when you do that, you're able to go in and actually sign up with the $500 deposit, which is due per person. You can see on the left side of the screen, it talks about the deposit, when reservations need to be what you need to do if you're changing, if you need to make a change, the fact that you need to have your passport ready, and the name on your passport is the name that you're going to want to use when you sign up. So you could start here with the book now, and you can just start by selecting the type of room you're going to have. When you say, for example, that you are interested in a room for 2 people, it's going to pull up a form for you to fill out for each of those people. And it's going to want information like your passport number, expiration and issuance date. Again, the name that is shown on your passport is the name that you should be putting in here. And so you'll just go through this as you're queued, and then you can ensure that your deposit is made and you are signed up for the Collette tour. So all of that can be found on this website here. Again, that is reached through the link that is found on Tucson Metro Chambers webpage. So that is all that I have as far as sharing. Well, I wanted to play one more video actually for you, which is just a video of people that have gone on the tour and what they've had to say about the tour.
My name is Adrienne Cote, and I'm on the Tropical Costa Rica tour.
Well, I'm Janet.
And my name is Jay.
We're in gorgeous Costa Rica.
We arrived in San Jose, Costa Rica, and checked into a really nice hotel. And the next morning, we had a beautiful ride up to a coffee plantation.
I'd never been to a coffee plantation. I really didn't know what a coffee plantation was all about. And what a wonderful experience.
The next day, we had a free day. Lots of people just laid by the pool and relaxed, or took a walk on the beach. It was terrific. The next day, we took a ride to a town called Monteverde in the mountains, and we had a nature walk in the cloud forest. The hotel in Monteverde was beautiful. Every room had a gorgeous view of the valley. The next day after breakfast, we left and went to Salvatore Park, where we had a walk on the hanging bridges.
The most exhilarating part of the tour was the zip lining.
I had no idea what time it was. And here you are going across the canopies that we'd been walking under just the day before.
We drove down from Monteverde and took a lovely boat cruise on Lake Arenal. And suddenly right in front of us was the volcano. Beautiful sunny day on the lake with the volcano in the background. What could be better? The next day, we took a wildlife cruise on the Rio Frio. It was beautiful. It was very lush jungle with all kinds of wildlife. And our tour manager was great because he was able to see a lot of plants and animals that we wouldn't have seen if we were there by ourselves. We headed back to San Jose and we got to visit the National Theater, which was absolutely gorgeous. All in all, it was just a great adventure. I got to see lots of wildlife and countryside and some beautiful architecture. And then on our last night, we had a really fun farewell dinner.
We've already started checking out the other Costa Rica tours that Collette offers. So truly, oh yeah.
All right, that is all that I had to present. So if there's any questions, or David, if you wanted to jump in and say anything.
I dare say the material you've shown, Misty, doesn't leave much for me to add on. You know, I will say I've worked at Collette for 25 years and we've been doing Costa Rica that long without a lot of change. I mean, as you can see from the video and the slide presentation, the destination provides tremendous value. There's not many places we can go for 9-10 days for under $3,000 with airfare that includes so much stuff. And there's just a lot to see, so much variety between the different parts of Costa Rica, from the coast to the jungle to the mountains. There's a lot in there, a lot of great sightseeing. It's not that far to go, and it's a great value. So I'm not surprised that it's perennially one of our most popular tours. So I think it's a great fit to offer through the chamber, and hopefully we can get a good group of folks from the local community through the chamber to go and enjoy this destination together and do a little community networking while on the road.
Thank you, David.
I have a quick question for you.
Yes.
So for somebody that is a little older, like for my father, the walking tour in Monteverde, is that like an easy stroll? Is it moderate, vigorous, or what?
Yeah, it's a good question. I would call it moderate. It's just about a mile. Like most of the things on this tour, snorkeling, that's elective. The tour itself, most of our travelers are of retirement age as a general rule. So we're trying to be conscientious of building our tours that will meet those needs. But the walk through Monteverde is on a prepared trail. You don't need a machete and climbing boots to get through the jungle there. It's actually designed to get you access to see the wildlife without really having to put yourself out. So it's about a mile through a prepared and very well-maintained trail.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I was going to ask too, I know that Costa Rica is what we're focusing on now. How many different kind of tours do you offer through Collette?
Oh gosh.
A lot.
Times are in flux. I mean, we go to all 7 continents,
Okay.
Including Antarctica. I think the last count at the beginning of the year, that may change. We had about 180 itineraries around the world. There's nowhere we don't really go that most folks would want to take a tour to. So we've got the globe covered in that regard. We're not a regional specialist operator. We do cover the whole country.
Okay.
Yeah, the whole planet. Is everybody here affiliated with the chamber in some regard? Yeah. It is worth pointing out, if I might, Misty, just to talk a little bit about our insurance, because it's these are challenging times for the travel industry. And if you're representing the chamber and somebody asks you about this, there's a couple of things that are important to know. We'll be here when this is all over with. Colette's been in business for 102 years, and this isn't going to put us out of business, although it's challenging. There's a lot of turmoil in the travel industry right now, as you can no doubt read. But the one important thing, and I addressed this when we met originally in the chamber, that sets us apart as a company is how we deal with cancellation in our insurance. And the good news is that everybody that purchases our insurance can cancel for any reason whatsoever. And that sounds pretty basic until you discover that, and Misty would back me up on this, almost all commercially available travel insurance does not cover pandemics as a reason to cancel. So that's been very, very helpful for our travelers going forward. But more helpful still is that anybody that was booked on a tour up until the 30th of July with Collette it's not even an insurance issue. If we don't operate the tour, the traveler gets not only their deposits back, but they also get their insurance back, because we never gave them the opportunity to travel. And so that's just our commitment to all of our partners and our agent partners, that if we can't operate a tour, there's never going to be a client that you have to give bad news to. Gosh, the travel company I hooked you up with is not being very forthcoming. We've refunded hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars this year for people that we just can't send on tour because it's not safe. And that'll always be our policy, because it's the right policy for the traveler.
So I noticed that on the travel insurance, it's a $239, whatever it was, per person. If you don't elect to purchase that, are you still covered then through Collette, or is that different?
No, it depends, Carrie, on what you mean by that. If you don't purchase our insurance, like any other company, we've got a schedule of cancellation penalties, which are percentages depending on how far out you cancel. I think I'd have to look it up. It's on the flyers. But and you know, some people have their own travel insurance, their credit cards and things like that. But virtually none of it is what we call cancel for any reason. You know, it's usually you're covered for a medical reason or something like that. Now, the only difference I would point out, Carrie, again, is regardless of whether or not a traveler has our insurance, if we cancel the tour, like we've done in response to the coronavirus through June 30th, it's not even an insurance claim. So we would refund all monies received regardless of whether the traveler had purchased our insurance. But, you know, ultimately at the end of the day, and I'm sure Misty would back me up on this, traveling without travel insurance is just unwise. And you should have something to protect yourself, because this is not just about cancellation. This is about medical coverage, traveling internationally, trip delay, luggage damage. It's all in there in a comprehensive travel insurance policy.
Got it. Thank you.
David, do you
Yes.
still use the locals on your tours? For example, when you were in the different cities, were you use locals for your tour guides?
Yeah, in fact, Shirley, who's done numerous Collette tours over the years, is familiar with how we operate on the ground. In fact, Shirley, all of our tour managers from start to finish in Costa Rica are Costa Ricans. So there are full-time employees in Costa Rica, but they all live there. And so they're full-time travel professionals, naturalist guides, and, you know, they know Costa Rica because that's where they're from. So they do a great job. I mean, a big part of our putting these things together is to make them educational, you know, so people really get a chance to meet Costa Rican people and learn about what life is like in the country. And so the Costa Rican tour managers do a great job of bringing that to life for people when they visit on a Collette tour.
And that's important to know, and it's very helpful, and it really makes the tour much more valuable. Testimonial, been on tours. I'm all for it.
Super, yeah. The Costa Rican tour guides, it's such a small country, but you know, they really lead the way in Central and Latin America for what you know, a real positive approach to developing travel and tourism can do, because they actually earn more money now through travel and tourism than they do in agriculture. As you can imagine, profitability on travel and tourism is a whole lot more than growing bananas. And so it's been you know, as a country, they've done a tremendous job, but the tour guides there are really, really proud of Costa Rica and what it offers travelers. And so they're really excited to welcome people to the country, and the feedback is just superb for these tour guides because they're so enthusiastic about what they do. Yeah.
Any other questions out there?
Misty, I have one. So the prices quoted are round trip from Tucson.
Correct.
But I believe you said once that you can actually make arrangements for people who might be coming from a different airport. Is that correct?
Yes, that's true. So I would work directly with Collette for those specific airline arrangements.
We do it all the time. Sometimes, you know, the gal in Tucson wants to go, but her sister lives in Sarasota. We'll hook Misty up with the price quotes so that she can share with the traveler to still have the air-inclusive booking, the insurance that covers the air and everything else, but just out of a different gateway.
Great.
Yeah, all in a day's work.
Yeah, so I'd like to encourage everyone they know to look into the tour. It's always funner when you've got a small crew of people that you're traveling with. So even though, you know, if you go on the tour, you're bound to make lifelong friends, people you didn't know prior to traveling with them. But it's always fun to get a group together, your own small group within the larger group. And so we can definitely accommodate people from wherever they're coming from. They do not have to be chamber members to go on the tour. They don't have to be from Tucson, Arizona. We can get them there from anywhere. So I'm excited about the tour. I've been to Costa Rica a few times on my own, and been to most of the places, but there's a couple places on this tour that I haven't been. So I'm very excited to go back and discover some new things, and actually do so with a tour operator, because I always did it by myself. And I'm sure that there were things that I missed because we were just there with our travel guidebook or whatever. But so I think this is a great one. I'm excited to find some people who are anxious to get out there and start traveling again, and hope to travel with us in a year. Hopefully we're through the worst of this and we can get out and have a great trip that benefits both the chamber and their members and possible future members to the chamber. So.
And I have one other question too, again, because I mentioned earlier that, you know, I have a trip planned later this summer, early fall. I've been keeping an eye on airlines, and obviously prices are dropping quite a bit for some of the trip that I've already purchased my tickets on. I know that you guys have a great price on this, but if airline tickets go down, will the price of this be adjusted at all, or is the price regardless?
It's not impossible. I couldn't promise it, and here's why. Because typically we're dealing with group air blocks, and often the price that you see on Travelocity is not the same as when we call them up and say, hey, we're looking for 15 spots for 5 months down the road to go to Costa Rica. But if there's, you know, if by January, February, you know, the marketplace has dramatically changed, by all means, we can have a look at that. Misty and I will work together on that to make sure that we're getting the best price we can for the traveler. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that would be just a question that I think we might get, is if potentially somebody might want to just keep, not ready to book yet because maybe they're going to keep an eye to see if it might go down a little bit. And I was not sure how that works with a group travel like this. So, okay.
The other thing to keep in mind, Carrie, is that even though this package includes flights, they can book their own flights and still go on our tour. Yeah. So that's maybe, you know, another answer is if you're holding back because of the airline flights and you're thinking that maybe down the road the flight costs are going to go down, they can certainly book the tour with us and do their flights on their own. And then once we get closer, they just let us know what their flight information is, because the transfers from the airport to the hotel at the beginning of the trip, and then when they leave from the hotel to the airport in San Jose is included. So as long as we know what flights they're trying to be on, they'll be seamlessly part of the group.
All right, thank you.
Sure.
Anyone else have any questions? All right.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you, David. Thank you, Misty, for taking your time to
think
about those. Anxious to have more of these as we get closer and learn more about other tours you have in the future as well. So
yeah, very good.
Appreciate it. And then again, we have a handful of members here, just to let you know that tomorrow we'll have our Knowledge at Noon Interface Edition. We're going to have Pima County Supervisor Steve Christie, and that will be actually, I will be there, but actually Kelly Maslin, who's our ASU sponsor, will be introducing Supervisor Christie. So if you haven't registered for that, please do so. And then I'll make another plug for Friday for our virtual networking happy hour from 3 to 4. It's going to be hosted by Highwire Lounge by Chris Carr, and we're going to be showing us how to make us the mule and a hibiscus cooler. So if you haven't done so, register for that. That should be a lot of fun. And again, we thank everybody for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jason.
Have a great day.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye, guys.
Have a great rest of your week.
You too. Thanks, David. Thanks, Misty.